So the next view we're going to talk about in BIM 360 Plan is the Gantt view. I think it's the best way to describe this is the combination with the list view as well as the swim lane view. And for the folks in the audience that are traditional CPM systems users where we have this Gantt view, it should be a very familiar home. The best way that I like to use this specific view is for connecting dependencies of tasks. So if you see here, we've got a committed task, the install balcony rails. And then we've got this task down here, punch list atrium. So let's move this back since we met, and we do know that we have a 2-day gap between we can actually complete the punch list for this this specific room. And so we're going to draw a connection. If you see here, a little ball shows up when I hover over it in this view. And then I just simply grab and drag down to this other task. You can see it lit up green. So what I've basically done here is said to the project team that we have a 2-day gap between the start of this punch list from the completion of this installation of the balcony rails. Now, in a traditional CPM environment, this is would be a hard data logic that's applied between those two tasks with a span of 2 days. In BIM 360 Plan, we actually do not have hard data logic. So in other words, I can take this punch list task and its dependency of 2 days, and I can push it down to 1 day. Or so more appropriately, what if we said this specific task extended and basically eroded our 1-day gap? In normal CPM environments, we would have basically honored that 2-day connection between those tasks. In other words, it would have pushed the subsequent task, this punch list, out 2 days. In BIM 360 Plan, we don't actually do that because in the lean planner methodology, we don't want a machine telling us when we can't get into a space to execute a scope of work. We're trying to eke time out of the schedule. So this is a great example of the team coming together and talking about it in the stand-up meetings or even a weekly planning session to understand if they could actually get into to that space. And in this case, we've decided that we can get in and do this punch list as soon as this specific scope of work is done.